welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and today we're going to talk about rift number 3, Reverence, which is being widely considered as the worst rift that we have ever had for Dead by Daylight after 24 tomes, rifts, whatever you want to say. I think this is number 25, rift number 3, and with good reason. So we're going to look at why and Dead by Daylight's response to it, and, you know, my advice to you, what you should do, because there's definitely some discussion about it. So after, you know, I saw this video with this amazing trailer that they put together, which this is arguably one of the best rift trailers that they have ever had. I think that this is head and shoulders some of their best as far as a rift trailer, for sure. But then once the release came out and we started to look a little deeper at what you actually get in this, it's pretty barren, and that's the major reason that people are so upset. Now, the theme, you know, the theme is subjective, right? If you like the stained glass in the eyes and the divine, either you do or you don't. That's subjective. Everybody has different tastes. You know, if everybody liked the same thing, we wouldn't need menus in restaurants. Same thing goes for the other rifts, right? Like, you may like the whips and chains of anguish, or you don't, or the floral of overgrowth, or you don't, or the bones of entombment, or you don't. That's all subjective. But what is measurable is the amount of content that you get in this rift, and it's severely lacking. So what we've come to expect when a rift or tome, whatever you want to say, comes out is some brand new models for cosmetics for the different characters in DBD. And alongside of that, we've always gotten some recolors that are stuff that was existing from previous cosmetic collections that have had the colors tweaked, and they've been put into the rift as filler, either on the premium track or the free track. We come to expect about 6 or 7 recolored cosmetics that already existed but are just in different colors. I don't want to get too down into the details of what came out with what and specifics, but it's about 6 or 7 cosmetics. For example, in this overgrowth here, the recolors that we have for this are these ones here. These ones that say no variants. So the Ace is a recolor, Claudette's a recolor, Zarina's a recolor, Skull Merchant's a recolor, Wraith's a recolor. And so we only got 5. However, they did have the 2 community cosmetics in here, the community designs for Jake and Singularity. So that's still like 7. And these are going to be in the free track because these are never going to be paid cosmetics, anything from the community collection. So we got 7, 2 being the community ones, right? Even here for Entombment, the rift that just ended before Reverence started, there were 5 recolors and the 2 community designs, which were the Unknown and Sable. Now, Jake was the only one that appeared on the free track. The other recolors for Adam, the Wraith, Fungmin, and Legion all appeared on the premium track as recolors for filler. But the free track, even though it only had the Unknown, Sable, and Jake, it had a lot more things. There were 18 items plus 3 pieces each for the Jake, the Unknown, and the Sable on the free track. So there were 27 items on the free track, badges and charms and banners, and these 3 different cosmetics that appeared on there. And this is like far and away from what we've gotten this time for Reverence. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and look at this rift here. So here's your new rift pass. We're going to go back to page 1. So the free track is here at the bottom. So as I said, Entombment had 27 things on the free track that you could earn. Now, again, some of them were community designs like this, the Entity Kitty, that's from Community Design Contest here. Entity Touch Petals, this is also from Community Design Contest. This one here, this Reaching Out, I'm not sure if that was like an extra one. It looks familiar to me. But so this is the first thing here that the devs have designed on the free track, right? Now we have tinted lenses. This is for the late night lecture. They just call it late night. They even like took the lecture part out of this. I don't understand what's going on with this. So they're going to the fashion district. It's not a lecture anymore for whatever reason. I don't know why they took the lore away from the designer of this. So this is community designed. So we're still on one thing here. This is the second thing designed by the devs. Song of Betrayal, Mosaic. Here we are on tier 38, by the way. And then we go here, and then that's the torso for the atom. This is the third thing here, the portentous doll. One wonders what this doll has seen with the eyes on it. So we have the doll charm, the mosaic charm, and the very simple hands-grabbing banner. And that's really it. That's all that's here on the free track. It's just a bunch of blood point nodes. And then we have this, which would normally be 3 pieces, but it's all in one. This is the dredge outfit here with the ghostly sheet on it. Fear of Reminiscence, which this is much different than the way it was designed. They did warn us on the Haunted by Daylight stream last year that there were going to have to be some concessions made to make this happen. I don't know why the inclusion of mouths was one of the concessions that needed to be made, because the original design didn't have mouths on it. It just had the eye holes for the spooky ghost sheet. And I don't know if you've seen, but this weapon here, the scissors for the gloaming hand on the left-hand side, which presumably the scissors are what was used to cut the holes in the sheet to hide over the dredge, are enormous, so much so that they block the screen to a level that you can't like properly play this cosmetic as the dredge, because your screen is covered with the scythe from the one hand and the scissors from the other hand, just covering your screen. So I don't know. Hopefully they can fix that. But I'm very curious why they had to cut mouth holes. Not sure. But anyway, that's that. And so we're at the end. So we have 3 things. 3 things on the free track that were developed by the devs, right? Because of the 9 things that are on here, one was a design badge by the community, one was a design banner by the community, 3 were Adam Francis, and the last one was the dredge, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 9 things are community design, and there's like nothing on here. So that's got people upset, and rightly so. Even the premium track, which, as I said, Entombment had 5 recolors, 4 of which appeared on the premium track, but at least this was full of things that were recolored cosmetics. This is all brand new stuff on here, which isn't necessarily bad, but yeah, it's a lot. And the other thing that people have said is like, man, there's so many recolors, which I thought was true, but I don't think it is in hindsight. Recolors meaning of the brand new skins. I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. But I don't think that is true, because I went back and looked at Overgrowth and Entombment, and I think they had just as many of the brand new models in many different colors. 4 colors of each. But it just seems like there's so many more because there isn't enough spacers in between. So I think Vittorio is the easiest for me to identify. So here's the first one. Song of Faith, Vittorio. That's the first one. So we'll just watch for his head as we scroll through these here. And there's Altered. This is a red version here. Song of Faith number 2. And then we'll go through here and we have Song of Faith number 3 in this blue, Deep Rift. And then we have Song of Faith number 4. Wow, that is bright. That's some pay to lose cosmetic there. So each of these stained glass and all-seeing eye outfits, the brand new ones here, have 4 versions. And people said, wow, that's a lot. Which it is a lot. I don't think you need to have that many. But it isn't more than they had before. Let me show you real quick. So it looks to me like Overgrowth had just as many recolors, but again, they were spaced out further apart on the Rift because there were some other filler recolor cosmetics that it didn't seem so overwhelming. But if we look here at Arella with Night of Spring, she has 4 outfits for this too, right? Night of Spring, Deep Rift 3, Deep Rift 2, Deep Rift 1, and then the basic one. So everybody in the Overgrowth has 4 cosmetics as well. So same thing if we go on Felix here, and we start to look at his Entombment outfits here, which are called Grave. You can see Open Grave. You can see he has 4 of these as well. So we have the basic Open Grave, and then we had Deep Rift 1, and Deep Rift 2. So there are 4 of all of the recolors for the new models in Entombment as well. So yeah, while it may feel like it's very recolor heavy, this is what they've been doing the last couple of rifts anyway with the multiple deep rifts here. But it just feels like there's so much more because that's all that's really on here, right? But the inarguable thing is that the bottom is just completely barren. The other thing that's going on, I don't know if many of you have noticed this, but they let us know that in the patch notes here that they weren't happy with the way that the Claudette head for this outfit turned out, and they didn't want to release it as is. They wanted to work on it some more. So her headpiece for this cosmetic is missing, and it's going to be given to everybody who owns the premium track at a later date. I think no matter where you are on these tiers, I'm not entirely sure. But where would they even fit? That was something somebody else brought out to me. Like, even if you had released the Claudette and it was fine, like, where would you put it? Like, the top is just jam full, front loaded with all of these cosmetics. Maybe they filled the spots with some of these charms that should have gone down here, not sure, but that would only be 3 slots. It would still be pretty barren on the bottom. But yeah, there's like not really spots for where Claudette's heads would go in there, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let me show you that here in the patch notes. So here in the patch notes it says the Reverence Rift Pass will release without Claudette's outfit's head cosmetic, including any altered and deep rift variations of this head cosmetic. So again, that'll be 4 heads. These missing cosmetics will be gifted to all players who bought the Reverence Premium Rift Pass, regardless of rift progress at a later date. So that's coming, but I guess some people missed it in the patch notes and they were wondering what the heck was going on with that Claudette skin, which makes sense that you'd be like, what the hell? This doesn't even look right. Like, why? Why? It doesn't match. What's happening with her? So that's understandable that they would be confused about where that is and why that's missing. But those are coming at a later date, the headpiece to match what you see in the trailer for this. So the other thing I see people saying is that they're so mad about how sparse the free track is that they're not going to buy the Rift. And that's a little curious to me, and I don't think that you should necessarily make that hasty decision right away, because if there's even one cosmetic that you like on this Rift, then I think you should buy the pass. Now, I'm not saying buy it right now. I will say that we only had 70 days to do Entombment, and this one is like 110 days, like so much longer. You have an extra 40 days to work on this. I think a lot of that is because of the quality of life pushback, and also because Dead by Daylight takes some time off in December around the holidays. So this is an extended Rift here, so you have a lot of opportunity to complete it. And the thing that I want to point out to everybody, I'm not sure if everyone is aware of this, but I thought that everybody was on board with this by now. This is something that I used to always tell people, like in the early days of the Rift, is that there is no rush for you to unlock this premium track, because you don't know what life's going to hit you with, if you're going to get busy with work or school or what. But you can unlock it down to the wire. You can wait 107 days before you decide if you're going to unlock it or not, and see how far you get with the progress. So that's what I used to always suggest this to people with the Rift, is see how far you get before you decide if you're going to pay for the premium track. And so it cost you $1,000, 1,000 auric cells to unlock this premium track. But you see here along the way, there's all these auric cell nodes where you get refunded depending on what tier you make it to. And there's enough of these, there's 20 of these, that if you get to tier 67, you'll get your entire 1,000 auric cells back. So if you get down to the wire in 100 days or so, and you've passed this point, you might as well spend the 1,000 and unlock it, because you're going to get that 1,000 right back. And everything that you've earned up to that point or beyond will essentially be free, right? Because you're going to get your 1,000 auric cells back. So if you have 100 days, 108 days of my recording this to make it to tier 100 to unlock everything. And if you come anywhere past 67, you should totally buy the Rift, because you'll get everything that's in the top track here, premium, basically for free, because you're going to get your 1,000 auric cells back that you can roll over into the next Rift. So I wouldn't be so hasty to say, I'm not even going to buy this Rift, because like you're just giving up free stuff if you play enough to reach that level. Now, if you don't reach that level and you would have to spend more to beef it up when it comes down to the wire, then that's for you to decide if it's worth it or not. And they also sell like a bundle here in the store when it comes down to the wire. If you need a little jump start, you can get this premium bundle, and that'll include 20 tiers plus the unlock. And instead of you spending 1,000 for the unlock and then 2,000 more for 20 tiers, you can get the unlock for 1,000 and the 20 tiers for another 1,000. So you'll save 1,000 on this, and it'll get you 20 tiers if you're short, you know, how many tiers you need. That's up to you to decide if you want to do that. But you know, if you're somebody who's playing like every other day and getting one tier every other day, you should make it to the end. So I wouldn't give up on the Rift. But yeah, I agree with you. It is upsetting to see how little content is on here. But I don't think by any means that means you shouldn't try to get any of the content. I mean, but you know, you decide what's right for you. But just want to point that out, that if you can make it to tier 67, and again, you have way longer to do it than we did for 70 days for Entombment, that you should consider still buying it to unlock this stuff for your own cosmetic collection. Anywho, let's go read Behavior's statement about this now. So I expressed my thoughts to them personally, me being partnered with the game. I told them that, you know, from the onset, the community was pretty upset about how barren that free track was, and this wasn't what we've come to expect from a Rift. And as many of you did on the forums and on social media and stuff. And so then they came back with this response today. I was going to make a more in-depth video about this is what we got for each different thing and compare it. But now that they've made a statement, I cut a lot of that out and condensed it, and we're just going to review what they've said here. But I had every intention of showing the comparison from Rift to Rift and how this one pales by comparison. We appreciate all the feedback on the Reverence Rift, and we'd like to keep the conversation open about our plans going forward. Now this, I don't understand this part. I don't know what this means. After changes with our production partners temporarily halted the development of recolored outfits, we brought Deep Rift items earlier in the premium track, as well as rebalanced charms and player cards in the free and premium tracks to compensate, resulting in an increased disparity between the two. So player cards means badges and banners, things that you put on your player profile. We understand the value that the Rift brings our players and the importance of a rewarding experience. So starting with the next Rift, in addition to bringing back recolored outfits, we will be making adjustments to strike a better balance between the tracks. So it sounds like they had an intention of doing what they would normally do and put some recolors in the premium track, maybe a little bit in the free track, and then more of those charms and badges and banners that you see in the top level would have been down in the bottom, and you'd be like where you were with Entombment with 27 things on the free track and it would be basically normal. But whatever this means, changes with our production partners halted the development of recolored outfits. I don't know what that means. Does that mean like they were outsourcing that to another partner who was helping them produce these recolors, and they changed their relationship with whoever was doing that? Or does production partner mean behavior itself, who produces the game? That is not clear to me. I don't know what this means, this speak. I don't understand it. So you take that how you want, but whatever happened stopped the recolors. Whatever it is, something stopped the recolors, and they had to rebalance it, and they wound up rebalancing everything to the top, and the bottom got shafted. But next time, it's not going to be like this. We're going to be back to normal. So, yay. But my problem with this is that behavior is being reactive instead of proactive, in the same way that they explained to us about the Claudette head not being ready, and they gave us that so we would know ahead of time what was going on. I wish that they also would have delivered some kind of message about the lack of recolors upon dropping the Reverence rift to us, so that we would know why the free track is so sparse. It's much easier to explain to your community. I think we're all pretty understanding people, right? If you just tell us what's going on and ahead of time go, okay, well, we don't have this, but here's why, and we promise the next one's not going to be like this. You'd be like, okay, all right, good. Instead of us just being outraged and discovering for ourselves, and we're like, I hope they don't notice that there's no recolors this time. And then we have a poop storm of PR that they have to put the fire out on, you know? Like, you could have gotten ahead of this and explained it to us, and we'd be like, all right, we understand. We're understanding people. But instead, you have to wait until the whole community is irate, and then you got to go with another one of these, we're sorries, and an apology. You know what I mean? It feels like it could have all been avoided. Even if there weren't recolors in there, you could have explained it to us why. We're grown adults, most of us anyway, right? So I just like, wow, why are you shooting yourself in the foot? Why are you doing this to yourself without coming forward and saying, hey, everybody, I'm kind of short on the rent money this month, but I'm going to make it up to you real soon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just so crazy to me that they would just let the community go ablaze with pitchforks and torches and not think that this was going to be an issue that they needed to get out in front of beforehand. It's so weird to me. It makes it difficult for me too as a partner, right? To explain it away for them, which, you know, there's no explaining it away. It's bad. The free track is bad. That's all there is to it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. I strongly suggest that you don't give up on that premium track. If you're somebody who's like normally in the habit of buying it, don't cut off your nose to spite your face because you think that free track is unacceptable and cheat yourself out of all of the cosmetics. If you're playing enough to earn all of that, put your 1,000 cells in and get your 1,000 cells out for next time. Don't you cheat yourself out of these cosmetics because they dropped the ball on recolors for whatever reason here. That someone explain that to me, what that means. All right, that's all I have for you today. As always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate the time you spend here with me on my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this whole thing. Like, let me know. Let me know. Tell me why, if you play enough, you're not going to buy the Rift still. Explain it to me. Or you just like, man, I'm so mad, I'm just not going to play at all. Tell me. I want to know. I want to know what your thoughts are on all this. But that's all I have for you today. As always, don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.